evening, everyone. Welcome to Hbcu Drumline Talk. My name is Ricardo Reese, and we are back at it once again. I'm joined with my brother in percussion, EP the Great. It's a pleasure to be on here once again. Today, we got a special guest with us, Mr. Charles Goodwin, and we're actually talking about Alabama State University this evening. Before we get started, there's been a lot of first-round draft picks out there. I've been seeing a lot of folks picking their schools, their prospective schools to go to. Saw a young lady, we were anxious to see where she was going from the Atlanta Drum Academy. She picked Hampton, I believe. So congratulations to her. Just overall, a lot of great things going out there. So we're gonna go ahead and pick up EP. You got anything you want to talk about before we start?
No, man, was glad to, be on a new episode, learn some stuff, from Professor, about the great Alabama State.
Yeah, man, let's go ahead and get on into it. And before we get started, obviously we're speaking on Alabama State University's Drumline, also known as TTB, correct? Okay, so we'll go ahead and get on in. And Mr. Goodwin, Professor Goodwin, talk to us about your journey with percussion.
I can start in the beginning. As most students or most kids, I start out drumming on the set at church. So I began at church playing on the set at a young age. My father is actually a music educator. He's been a band director. He's retired now, but he's a retired band director. And then during the time, he got me started on drum set at church. And so from there, I eventually got into middle school band and then high school band, marching band. And I went on to ASU. When I got to ASU, I played snare drum and I majored in music education. And I went through my journey at Alabama State University, graduated in music, and then I went on to become a band director myself. I was a high school band director for a while, then I became a middle school band director. And during that stint as a middle school band director, I also worked with with whichever middle school I was at. I worked with the surrounding high school. So I usually work with their percussion, or sometimes I would try to arrange little tunes for the band or whatnot. And that gave me an opportunity to work on my arranging skills also, and hone my overall musical skills in theory. So from there, I ended up coming back to Montgomery. I always lived here, but I worked in surrounding counties at other schools. And I landed a job at a middle school here in Montgomery. And I just went by to see my alma mater. And when I went by, Dr. Oliver asked me, what was I doing? Was I back in town? And I said, yes. And he said, man, I need a percussion instructor. My last one just left. And he was actually my section leader when I was in college. So he moved on and moved away, and he needed a percussion instructor. And here I am back at my alma mater as percussion instructor at Alabama State University.
Man, look at that. Just showed up at the right time, asked a couple questions, and landed the job.
Yeah.
Couldn't have picked a better situation, right?
Right.
Good.
All the stars aligned.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's only a few schools out there that had this accomplishment, which is a big one. You guys had you guys own TV show a while back. Talk to us about how that came about.
I didn't have a lot to do with that, to be honest. Dr. Oliver, he's the mastermind behind all of the things we do as far as media, and when we go, like when we get TV shows, what else? Performing, we was on America's Got Talent. The Honeybees were on there. We were on the Ellen DeGeneres show. He has these connections, and he's great at selling the product per se. And so he just made it happen. And he knew the right people to get in touch with, and from there it just became, the show just came about, and it's history.
Okay, cool. So you wasn't featured on that show? Was you back then?
No, I was actually teaching in a different county at that time, so I wasn't here. But I was coming around watching the filming process, though. How all of the old heads come back and watch and see practice and stuff. I was one of those old heads around watching when I got free time. So yeah. But it seemed he still talks about it a lot. And he was saying how it was really different to. The students had to deal with taking it back. We used to take it back at rehearsal, but this time they're doing cuts over and over and over and over again. They're doing the same thing over and over. Even when real life stuff happens, they want to catch it again. So you got to reenact real life stuff that just happened. So, it crazy experience for him, and he still talks about it a lot. Hopefully,
Okay.
we can do something else like that.
Okay. Good.
Cool. So we're going to jump right into the conversation here real quick. So, Alabama as a state has a lot of HBCUs. I believe up to about 7 of them. Is that correct?
I don't want to leave anybody out, but that we know of, it's with bands, yeah.
7. Okay, so 7 with
Yeah.
bands. So jumping right into this, please tell us what separates Alabama State University Drumline from those other 7 schools.
Right. Well, there's a few things that separate us. It's our unique style, number one. Our drumline has a unique style when it comes to a lot of the swag schools, and we have more of a mixture between our drum corps with our snares and our quints, and then we have a mix. Then we have a more of a groove style with our basses and tenors. We have used the traditional tenor drum and the cymbals. So we have a unique style where we kind of meld those two together, and it's more. It seems more Miakish, but it still has that swag to it. So we try to stay unique with our style and keep the rich tradition that's always been here. So when we try to evolve, some drum lines like to evolve, or they like to update your material, and you like to progress forward. We still want to stay true to who we are, and we still want to make sure that we uphold the tradition, so we don't make any dramatic changes that would make us someone else, or make people say, well, they're just trying to be like this band, or they're just trying to be like the other band in Alabama, this. So we want to make sure we separate ourselves by being unique and staying unique and true to our tradition.
I'm glad you mentioned that. And there are a couple of things. You guys have a particular look. And when I mean look, I'm more or less talking about profiles. And it's really laser precise. Every movement is like a clockwork. And giving you that compliment, that looks really good. When everybody's doing that, it's just real precise and real rigid when you guys are doing your profiles and everything. Another thing, when you bring up traditions, I've seen a lot of homecomings. I've seen a lot of folks come back for alumni coming back and playing with their drumline. But I gotta say, for your school in general, for your drumline, when the alumni drumline members come back, man, they sound so good. I don't know if it's just it's crazy on how good you guys sound, or they sound when they come back and they fit in like they haven't missed a beat. It almost sounds like, man, I don't know which is the better drum line almost.
Don't let my guys not hear you say that.
Yeah, man. So it's just to someone that's looking, and to someone that's seen that and seen a lot of folks that come back and play, man, you guys, the alumni sounds really good. So that speaks big on you guys' traditions there. So thank you.
Yeah, and they're calling, they're asking, they're inboxing me now. Are we gonna do it this year? COVID is, I'm like, man, we don't know yet, but they're pushing for it. And the good thing about it, they also with the proceeds from it, when they buy T-shirts, the people that make the T-shirt, the person that makes the T-shirts are a former band member, they're alumni, yeah. And they kind of charge maybe another $5 extra or something like that for the donation part, and they just donate it to the band. So that's a good thing. Also, like it's being used in a positive manner, cool, and they look forward to it every year.
Good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I kind of already know this answer, but who is ASU's biggest rival?
Well, before I answer, who do you think it is?
Well, I would probably think Alabama A&M, but just a guess.
Well, for band, that would have to be because we have this long-standing beef, and it's not violent. It's just always trash talking, back and forth, always trash talking. So, and we look forward to that time every year for Magic City Classic. But we also, Tuskegee, believe it or not, is the oldest rival. That Turkey Classic has been going on for a long time, and it's back now. And for I would say for the alumni, for the old school, they would really say Tuskegee. But for band heads, definitely Alabama A&M. Definitely Alabama A&M. And this drumline, we've already been talking trash back and forth. The students been talking back and forth about this drumline battle. They ready to get to it because we didn't do it this year because of COVID. So it's a lot of built up, anticipation for this Magic City Classic. So we're really excited, man. So yeah, that's definitely our biggest rival.
Oh, okay.
You're muted.
My bad. How far are you guys from Alabama A&M as far as distance to school?
Huntsville is what? 2 hours, 2.5 hours, I think. It's not that far. Huntsville is yeah, like Tuskegee is right down the road. So Huntsville is maybe 2 hours, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not too far.
Okay. Cool. So that brings me to my next question. What is one school that you guys have not battled that you would want to battle?
Now this one is another one, anticipation, man. I gotta say Bethune, man, because they're coming to the SWAC. They have a reputation, and we don't see them. We don't see them often, and we're mostly known for our stand cadences, but we want to showcase some of our ability to perform in a showcase. And I know Bethune is known for the showcase. So it'll be great if we can get in something with them and be able to do that. I'm really looking forward to the stand battle. So if we can do something else, that'll be awesome. So that's one drumline we really want to looking forward to seeing next year.
Okay, I would love to see that myself.
Yeah, so Bethune, huh?
Oh yeah, I love it.
So Mr. Goodwin, you brought up something that I want to touch back on, and we'll go ahead and move on here. We talk about these friendly rivalries, these top-notch, there's rivalries and everything. So just everybody understand out there, it's nothing bad, because we might have family members that march in the other drumline and everything. So it's all a lot of fun and everything, so that's good. I'm glad you bring that up. So I wanted to touch on this, since you mentioned, who your biggest rivalry is and, what school that you want to battle, say I'm a freshman, a senior in high school, right? And I got my eye on, coming to Alabama State University's drumline, and I'm torn between, Alabama A&M's drumline. So give me your 30-second pitch on convincing me to be a part of Alabama State University's drumline.
Well, if you want to get waxed every year, go to the other school, but if you want to be on the winning side, now I'm just joking. But like I say, well, the first pitch I would give them would not only be about band, it would be on the academic side, because our school offers they're top in the nation when it comes to the business major. So if you want to come to school and be a business major, we offer that. Our recreational therapy department is great. We produce more educators than any HBCU. So if you're coming to be a music educator or just an educator in general, that's great. That's a great school to go to. So we want to graduate you. We offer great programs at Alabama State University, and we want to graduate our students. We're not just going to bring you here for band. So that would be my first selling point. And my second selling point would be, like I said at first, if you want to be on the losing end, go to those other schools. But if you don't want to be on the winning side, come to Alabama State University.
Ooh, sign me up. Okay, so basically you pretty much got the buy-in from me at this point in time. I'm all about the winning team and everything. So I want to be on something where I can make a difference here in the line. And with that in mind, I'm sure you guys have some core values in your drumline. Can you talk to us about those core values?
Right. We have our first core value that we like to instill is discipline. And being some of these kids come from places where they're the head guy. I'm the section leader, I'm the captain, drum captain. They come and they have that mentality that they're the best, and then they kind of get humble fast because everybody is the best from where they come from. So we try to instill a discipline in them and let them know that you're not, you have to grow into being a leader here. We want everybody to be a leader in some form. But we also, in order to be a leader, you have to follow. You have to be a good band member first before you can lead everybody. So we instill a lot of discipline. That's one of core values. But we also, like I said, we want to encourage, we don't want to stifle, we want to encourage that competitiveness. So if you're coming from a school where you're the top person, we want you to still strive to be the top person. We want you to strive to be the top person in this section, and that creates a healthy competition amongst the members on the line. And when they had a healthy competition, then that's where we get a lot of the evolution in the section, where you get creativity comes about. And I encourage the guys to be creative. I don't believe that I should do. I don't believe that I should tell them, no, you can't create that. No, you can't do that. No, you can't write that. I'm gonna do it. And throw that out. No, I like for all the guys to come up with stuff. Everybody, when they come to Alabama State, everybody likes to cement their legacy. Everybody wants to, all of the section leader wants to leave. Before they leave, they want to create some kind of cadence or some kind of something that they can say when they come back, I did that, so it's all of those things are encouraged in our section. So the discipline is the number one thing, because without the discipline, you'll have a lot of chaos going on.
Yeah, man, that's good. I mean, we've heard that numerous times. I'm glad you talked to us about your core values, and I'm sure, like I said, that I know we just role play a little situation there where I was a senior in high school, so I know what to expect. Hey, I might be the best at where I'm at, right? But if I follow up at Alabama State University's Drumline, I have a surprise waiting for me.
But the good thing about it, we're gonna, if you're not the best when you get there, we're gonna try to push you. We're gonna encourage you to work hard until you can possibly be the best. We want everybody to be at a certain level, so in order to be on the drumline. So that's not to discourage anybody, make anybody, afraid to come. But even if you're not there, we're gonna try to build you. So,
yes, sounds like to me, if I'm coming in, I'm gonna come in better. Well, I'm gonna leave better than when I came in.
Than when you came in, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, one thing you mentioned, I guess having the kids, if they come up with a part, you're not shooting them down. You're going, you might use it, might not, whatever. But yeah, it builds morale. You're building leaders, you building future, whatever profession they're going into. But I feel that's a good thing. Not just shoot them down. Listen to them. Never know. It might be a good cadence, strong part. Not in your instance, but I'm just saying for us, other schools. Who might do that, shooting them down, not letting them be creative. We're going to my next question. What are the characteristics that you look for in a drumline captain?
Like I say, first of all, man, I look for someone with that when they wasn't a leader, when you were just a part of the line, how did you operate? Were you a problem? Did you go against all authority? Or you were those ones that didn't want to follow directions, or you were always late, or, stuff like that. I look for people that didn't have those issues. And if you didn't have those issues, that means that you know how to enforce those same things with the rest of the line. And I also, I look for leadership. I look for sternness, because, these students are friends, so you don't want their friendship. We hang out on campus, we hang out outside of band practice, but when we get over here, it's business, because I have to lead and I have to be the captain. So I don't want you to undermine me just because we're homeboys. You know what I mean? I don't want you to say, okay, you're just my friend, I ain't listening to you. You have to draw the line. So I look for someone who's able to draw that line between what's going on outside of practice and what we do when it's time to come handle business, so we can get it done. And playing ability definitely comes into play. But I can't say the best player hasn't always been the captain. Sometimes their abilities are better served elsewhere than to be the section leader. So that's not always the case, but they do have to be up to par. And with that playing ability being up to par, they have to understand a teaching process, because they do take part in the teaching process. It's when we go break off in the sectionals, or when it's the sections are broken down, the students are self-taught. They try to they use their talents, and they have to be patient. They have to be patient to be able to help the others and help them grow. So you don't want somebody that's not patient and doesn't understand how to break down, what they're trying to show them or teach them. And then also organization skills. You want them to be able to organize and be this is a good example. Me and my section leader, we meet before every practice. Whether it's on a phone call or whatever, and we go over the plan. Like, what are we teaching today? What do I need you to do? What do I need you to have done by the end of practice? What do we need to have completed by the end of the week? So we'll know where our goal is. We know where we are, and we know where our goal is going to be at the end of the week. So, it's stuff like that. You have to be organized. You have to be on the same page. So I look for a lot of stuff in a section leader before I choose a section leader like that. I want to make sure that we can be on the same page, because I'm a lot of places sometimes. So I need you to be an independent leader.
Yeah, that's a good one. Somebody that can run the show when you got to step away, or you can't make practice that night or whatever. That's a big thing. And also being stern, because they they with them 24/7. They chilling with them in the calf, whatever. They got their best friends, but when it's time, put on that practice uniform or whatever. Y'all need to be doing this, not But yeah, I like that.
Hey, can I?
I was gonna say, because sometimes your friends will try to run you over. They'll disregard you sometimes. Because they look at you in that light. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you said I'm going to talk about something real quick. You said sometimes the best players in the section are not the drumline captain, and this has been on my mind for quite some time when we do our cast and talk to our folks that come on. I got a question. I mean, when you mention the best players, do you often sometimes notice that the percussion majors may not be the drumline captains in the line? Do you ever run across that?
Yeah, a lot.
Oh, he paused out. Oh man. Yeah, he paused out.
And so,
the screen kind of paused out.
So can you hear me?
Yeah, it kind of cut out there. The screen paused out.
Try to start over.
You probably have to start over with that.
Can you?
I got you. Yeah. Paused out. Yeah, EP. Do you notice? I don't know if that's
you hear me,
the
right?
same. I'm sorry. Yeah, Mr. Goodwin, can you hear us?
It'll jump on. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so just for our viewers out there to recap, I just asked a question here. A lot of times in the drum line, we have our percussion majors who are not the actual drum line captain. Do you find that to be the case in your line on occasion?
Yeah, I do. Actually, my section leader from last season, like I said, was he wasn't a music major, but we had a bunch of music majors in the section. But he was just a great leader. So I put him in that position. But he wasn't a music major. He just graduated actually. So congratulations to Tommy. But yeah, he was just a great leader, man. And the next section leader I'm looking to put into place, he's not a music major, so. It happens that way sometimes. Now, sometimes there are, cases where the drum section leader is a music major, and that has its benefits as well.
Yeah. EP, do you have the same thing? Do you have the same challenges in Virginia State?
We go, yes. Sean, he's a music major. My current leader. So it goes back and forth. I guess I would say every other year we have a percussion major. Then we have a non-percussion major. So it goes back and forth. But yeah. I mean, my biggest thing is someone, like I said, when I'm not there, they can teach their sternness, and also they can relate to everyone,
Good.
Yeah. So going to the next question, which is one of my, my favorite questions. Me being a percussion arranger, I arrange a lot of stuff. Material is my biggest thing. I listen with I see with my ears, before I even look at the line. But and I'm not just saying this because you're on here. You're one of the lines that material catches my ear. Not too many lines that do that. Not saying it's a bad thing, but it's just me. So going to the next question, talk to us about the creative process in the case.
There's a few different ways that we create stuff. Let's see. One way what I usually do is I try to find a good groove first, and it depends on what my goal is here. If I'm looking to make something that's more of a battle cadence or something like that, it's going to be probably multiple parts to it. So I may start with a certain groove, but then it'll transition to something else. It may change time signature, and so. But I try to start with a basic groove first, and then we try to string together those rudiments that everybody loves to play. So with the groove, you may not have as many rudiments, but when you get to that snare solo, that's when you put in those hybrids and you try to string together in the most creative way. And some of the guys, they when they create stuff, they man, some of their minds, man, is amazing, man. Like it amazes me sometimes with some of the stuff they come up with. Now with those song parts, I try to get it. We try to make sure that I get it as close to the song as possible without boring them. So and then also you don't want to make it cluttered because a lot of times, especially when you got these lines with tenors and quints, that can become cluttered because the quints can disagree with your snares sometimes or disagree with the tenors. So you have to make sure that you find the space to put them in and make sure that the quints are being melodic. I try to make sure that they be melodic and try to mimic the songs, mimic the voices of the song, try to mimic the melody, in some certain parts. So there's different things that we do when it comes to being creative, but most of the time we want to make sure that we try to stay unique and we try to keep it rudimentary. We don't want to make sure we don't bore you. And when you hear those snares, we want to make sure that you leave with that, ooh, did they just do that? So we try to keep that flair going. And then sticking is a real big thing. So we want to make sure that we have some nice sticking going in every cadence. So there's a lot of factors that go into creating something. And what I try to do is I try to make sure that I try to do something new that we haven't done instead of recycling the same thing over and over again. I look for new stuff to do, and sometimes I may look to a DCI line or look to, somebody to pick up something from, so it just depends. But yeah, for the most part, it depends on what we're writing. If it's a marching cadence, it's going to be very groovy and it's going to be more simple than I would say it would be as a battle cadence, something that you can march to.
Gotcha. So now I think I understand why, when I hear y'all material, okay, I'm like, yeah, it's grooving because, like you said, when you write, you start with the groove first.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing I do. I'm starting with the bases first. I'm gonna get that groove, bob your head, then I'm gonna add the other stuff, as it go. But now I understand why.
Yeah, and I kind of relate it to when I do band music also. Like when you're arranging for a band, the first thing you do is you create a bass line. When you figure that bass line out, then you got your chord progressions. And so you kind of build from the bottom up.
But some people they can start with the snare part. I don't see how they do it.
Yeah, I know.
But hey,
good. Yeah, so just want to touch on something real quick since we're talking about cadences and with Alabama State University's drumline TTB. Can I ask what does TTB stand for?
It's just
like I don't know if you qualified, Rick.
It's like it's more like Greek letters, but originally it was FCC back in the day. That's basically the name of it from the old days, 70s. You got some old guys that they called it FCC back in the day. So it's a little name behind it. I know my dad marched for ASU and he was a part of the drumline also. He was a head drum major. So yeah, it's just it's just a name. Everybody got a name. Everybody got a name.
I mean, you can go ahead and tell him ain't none of his business. Go to band camp, you find out.
I asked that question because I'm a fan of you guys as well. Like I said, I've watched you guys and seen the good things that you guys are doing and seen the good things you're doing as well. And we always like to, when we talk about cadences and everything, we always want to talk about the particular sound and what type of sound that you like with a drum line. And for somebody who's interested in, hey man, I'm having a hard time with my drum line, getting that Alabama State University's drum line. I'm talking about maybe a high school per se. So what advice would you give an instructor at a high school on the type of heads that you would use, either from snare, tenor, bass? Because I know you guys use the black dot and it sounds good. There's very few schools that I've seen use a black dot that sounds good. So talk to us about that.
So you're talking about from a you say from a drum head standpoint, where with the heads, that's more of a traditional thing. Also, we've always had black dots. It's tradition, and that's all I can remember. And the way we tune them, we just want to make sure that there's almost a subwoofer type sound when we tune them, and it accents our band well. So we try to keep that same tuning process year to year. And we don't try to stray away too much from it. And we use the same ones on our tenors, the black dots on the tenors. We kind of tune them a little higher so they can cut through, depending on the numbers we have. and we tune the quints to the typical tuning. Snares though, we're usually anywhere from the high to the little bit in the middle range. We don't do the low tuning or the clear heads. We usually do the Remo Flam heads.
That's how you guys get that sound, that traditional
Yeah.
sound that you guys have. It's good. Thank you.
And then depending on the strength of the line, we play with our style is more of it's like you say, it's a rigid, but also power style. So if we have a weaker line that's not as playing as strong or a weaker freshman class, we would tune the snares a little bit, softer to get a more projection. Because if those heads are really tight, they won't project as well. So we're trying to tune them down a little bit so we can project. But for the most part, we try to keep it a little bit on the higher side. And we're the only school in Alabama that plays with those still. So everybody else is on they're on pinstripes, I think.
Pinstripes for
Snares.
they're using pinstripes. They're clear pinstripes on the snares.
Yeah. Most of all the schools in Alabama, except for I think Miles College uses the Remos that we use, but I'm not sure. I know everybody else is using those clear heads. Talladega, Stillman, A&M. Yep.
Okay, good. Good.
I say switch it up.
You really talked on some good points here. You really talked about the sound of Alabama State University's Drumline. And one thing I'd like for us all to really get into this next question here, and I really thought about this before I was going to even ask it, but Mr. Goodwin, in your good opinion, what's the one thing you think that can cripple an HBCU Drumline's morale?
I hate to sound like I'm repeating myself, but the first thing is poor leadership. I think if you got a poor leader in that position, man, it can mess up the morale of the line. If he or she is just talking down to the students, or if they're not motivating them properly, being able to motivate them, because it's peer, it's peer teaching sometimes, and you're with your peers more than you are with the instructors. They're with each other outside of practice. They're with each other all the time. So if you don't have the ability to motivate them, then that can create division with the poor leadership. That can create all kinds of issues within your line, and it'll crumble. So you want to make sure that your leader can keep everybody on one accord and keep things together. We don't want to have any kind of infighting.
You said some knowledge right there. Knowing how to talk to people,
Mm-hmm.
Keep them motivated. I want to touch on that what you just said. Knowing how to talk to people and keep them motivated. My bad, Rick.
No. Actually, Elijah, I'm glad you mentioned. What do you think? What do you think is one thing that can cripple not just your line, but just any HBCU Drumline's morale?
I mean, the same thing. Like you said, know how to talk to people. You just can't curse nobody out. Get the doggone part, using curse words or whatever. You just can't, do that, because everybody learns different by music, by ear. Everybody learn a different pace. Maybe the way you're explaining it, they're not getting it. So you just can't talk to people any kind of way. And not just drumline. That's just any job or in life, period. And also motivate. Tell them they're doing a good job. It might not be, is what I believe, it might not be 100%, but you just, good job, but still it could be better. It's all how you use your words, to uplift them. Like I said, everybody is different in what they have been through, and you don't know what they've been through growing up. Parents might have been talking down, whoever might have been talking down, so they in the drum line, you talking down on them, they thinking backward, damn. My parents did this, my teacher did this and that. So, like I said, it's all in your verse, how you talk to them. That's the biggest thing. And motivation, motivate them. That's my opinion, what I do.
Good points. Thank you. That's good. Thank you.
Yeah, some kids are shut down on you, so
yeah. Like I said, you never know what they've been through, growing up. Then you talking trash to them, they shut down. They say, they quit. They gone. You lost the person on whatever drum.
Yeah, I think just that the drumline captain itself is a prestige title, but it's not easy. It's not something easy to do.
Stress away.
It's really not. It's not for everybody to even, even really kind of consider. And it's okay to, be honest and say, hey, look, I know my role. I just want to be in the drumline and do what I do. It's okay to say those type of things instead of setting yourself up for failure, because that could end friendships. That could end certain things. Next thing you know, you thought you were doing a good thing. Next, you got the whole drum line on your back. So it's some things to kind of really look at from that aspect. And really, Mr. Goodwin, you've talked to us and we've enjoyed our conversation. You gave a lot of good light here. You convinced me. Can I sign up to come to Alabama State University with that 30-second sales pitch? So I'm bought in. So we're going to close it on out. But before we do, you know what time it is, right? I guess not. It's bonus time.
Oh, okay. Bonus time. Oh,
it's bonus time. And, we always like to do this with our guests that come on and everything. And let's not look at Alabama State University's drumline. Okay. Take a step back, right? And you have 30 days to work with and have total control over any HBCU drumline outside of your own. Who would it be? And why?
Ooh, that's a hard one. You know what? I'm not gonna go with the typical answers. I'm gonna throw a curveball. I'll say Tuskegee. They're not really mentioned as much in the drumline world, and so I would want to utilize that to give them to come out of left field, and just put them out there, and then let everybody be like, "Dang, where did Tuskegee come from?" So, and not to be disparaging, they're good at what they do. I'm just saying people don't mention them enough, in the drum world. So, I would like to get some control over that.
Yeah, we actually had them on the podcast, and they were really gave some, like you said, that's a line that we don't really hear about. They're doing some great work down there.
Right. Yeah, I just want to expose them. Put them. They need some media team or something.
Yeah.
Get them out there.
So, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's a lot of drum lines out here. I like. I like a lot of the MEAC lines. They're doing some real great stuff at NCAT, Norfolk. Let me see. It's a lot of guys that's doing some good work out there. I actually like what Prairie View does too. Okay. Have y'all interviewed them yet? Prairie View?
Not yet.
No, we haven't talked to them yet.
Yeah, man, I like what them guys do out there, man.
Yeah.
And Mr. Proud, you at where you at now?
VSU, Virginia State.
Oh yeah, Virginia State. I like Virginia Union too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
some good lines.
All y'all kind of got on the same page over there in that area, though. Y'all kind of similar.
Yeah. Virginia, I got that Virginia sound. Yeah, for tuning material. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, going to the question bonus number 2.
Oh man.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I put me on the hot seat, man. On the hot seat.
So, basically, where your drumsticks at? Where your drumsticks and pads? Show us something.
They in the. Oh Lord, you want to play?
Come on, man. Okay. You gotta show us something, man. Show us something.
Hold
on.
Oh, real quick.
Here we go. We got action, Rick.
Yeah.
What that?
Cut it out. Mr. Goodwin, looks like you escaped.
Oh, you can't hear it?
I hear nothing coming through.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's because of Zoom. So I get to turn the camera down to the pad. I want to see that. Hand work.
Okay. Let's see. See it?
Yeah.
Oh man. I can't even get it to stand up like that. Let me do
It's all good. It's all good.
Hold on, let me do this. How about now?
There you go.
Okay. I mean, some short. I mean, I can't. I mean, you know, you
Yeah.
just put me on the spot. You just put me on the spot.
There, there it is, my friend. Thank you. Thank you. That was
That's what's
good.
up,
Saw the hands working and everything. I'm not sure what's happening with like the audio. Sometimes it comes
You can
through,
hear me?
sometimes it doesn't.
You still can hear me?
We can hear you. It's just when the plan, and it happens all the time. Not just you. It's something you have to do within your settings, with the audio.
I should just send something. You can tag it on the end of the.
Do that.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah,
do that.
I'll probably do that.
Yeah.
That's good work.
Yeah, but all right. Do we have a bonus question number 3?
No bonus question number 3.
Oh, okay. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You put me on the spot then, man. You put me on the spot.
All right, so we've come to an end. Want to really thank Professor Charles Goodwin taking time on his day to come on the cast. HBCU Drumline Talk. To talk about the culture. And what they are doing at Alabama State. Please follow us: Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora. Like, share with your family. It's all about the culture. It's not about us. We're just getting the word out there, getting our name out there. Once again, thank Professor Charles Goodwin. I want to thank my brother, Ricardo Reese. Everybody else, be safe. Take care. See you next episode.